This podcast is not intended as legal advice. If you're in need of legal services, please contact 602-375-6752 to set up a consultation. You're listening to the official podcast of the Law Office of Libby Banks, Estate Planning, Wills, and Trusts. Your estate planning attorneys in the Phoenix Valley.
Welcome to the Law Office of Libby Banks podcast. I'm Libby Banks, and I'm here with Kyle and with Teddy, if you may not be able to see on the floor there, and Vanessa Martin, who's with Arizona Humane Society as their planned giving manager. And of course, my associate attorney, Allison Gloss, happy to have her here as well. So here at the office, we love animals, and we love planning for pets. So many of our clients have pets, and it's one of their biggest concerns. What's going to happen to my cat? What's going to happen to my dog? Sometimes horses and other animals. That is something that we can help with. One of the ways that we deal with pet issues is we can actually do a full pet trust as part of the estate plan. Usually we include that as a section of your revocable trust, and we set up the provisions. Who is going to take ownership of your pets when you're gone? How much money are you going to leave for them? Who manages that money? It can be the person who gets the pets or not. It can be a very elaborate system. We are doing one right now that's a pretty elaborate pet trust with various roles played by different people, just checks and balances, making sure those pets are going to be adequately cared for. But we also can do something just as simple as a gift. Martha's going to take Kyle when I'm gone, and I'm going to give her $15,000 to make sure there's plenty of money for his care. That's a very simple gift. But what we found is a lot of our clients actually don't have somebody who can take their pets. And so what do? Well, that's why we have the Arizona Humane Society here, is to talk about their continuing care program that they have that is just an absolutely wonderful program. And so I'll let Allison and Vanessa take it from here. Allison actually is the one who called the Humane Society and discovered this wonderful program they have.
So I'd like to talk a bit about how we found you guys. So I have a client who, she's in her late 80s and she has 5 cats. And her cats are like her children. And she was really concerned about what to do with her cats after she passed away. She knew that her cats would probably outlive her. And both of her daughters had enough animals at their own homes that they didn't want to take those animals in. So I knew that she probably needed some help in finding homes for these cats. So I reached out to the Arizona Humane Society, and JJ was the one who picked up the phone and talked to me about the continuing care program. And so why don't you tell us about the continuing care program?
Yeah. So continuing care is an exclusive benefit that we offer to our Legacy Circle members at the Arizona Humane Society. And our Legacy Circle is our group of donors who have included the Arizona Humane Society in their estate plans, wills, trusts, what have you. And so once you include the Arizona Humane Society, you become eligible to enroll your pets in continuing care. And through that program, if your pets outlive you, we take them in and care for them and find them a new loving home. And we know that for a lot of people, as you mentioned, they don't necessarily have friends or family who are in a position to take their pets. And so we want to offer them the peace of mind of knowing that their pets will be well cared for after they're gone.
Yeah, that's really great. And they don't go to the shelter then, they go to foster homes?
Typically, yes. So what we do is we will place these pets directly into a foster home because we realize they've been through a trauma of losing the person who loves them the most. And so we don't want them to find themselves in an altogether unfamiliar environment like a shelter. And so we'll place them with foster families and they'll stay there until we can find them that perfect new home. And one of the things that we ask our continuing care members to do is to complete our pet profiles. And through that process, we learn all about their pets, where they like to sleep, what they like to eat, what their favorite toys are, if they're on any medications. And so we can use all of that information to find them the perfect forever family after their person has passed.
And is there a minimum for donation in the estate plans?
There is not. So some animal welfare organizations do have a minimum, but one of the things I love about our program is that you can leave us $500, you can leave us $5 million, and we will still take the same wonderful care of your pet.
Oh, that's great. That's really great.
And one of the things that I remember you all saying was that you do follow-ups. So, once I give you my information about my pets, you're also going to check back in with me from time to time to see, is this still a good plan?
Yes, exactly. So you mentioned my colleague, JJ. So she and I take it very seriously as a responsibility, the future of the pets who come to us. And so they actually, don't come through the general channels where, a typical owner surrender would come through. They come through us. So we provide our phone number as a contact, and, whomever, personal representative, trustee, family, friend will contact us, and we actually will go out and pick up the pet if they can't transport them to the shelter. And we manage that process to make sure that they are being cared for while they're in our care, and that wherever they're going afterwards, that they're still going to be well cared for in that new home. And so we definitely do check-ins, and we always say, if anything were to happen that, would be unexpected, we're your first call. And we always take that responsibility very, very seriously.
One thing we didn't ask about, so I hate to just spring it on you in the podcast, but what about somebody who has filled out the continuing care program, but now they potentially are in a situation where they maybe have to go to a nursing home, or a situation where they can't take the pet with them for whatever reason? Is that something you also can help with?
It is. We have had people who are members of our Legacy Circle with their pets enrolled in continuing care, and they have come, fallen ill or come into a situation where they can't care for themselves in their own homes any longer. And so in those cases, we will...
Kyle!
Emergency!
Thank you.
So we will take those pets in and find them new homes.
Wonderful. That's good. I had meant to ask that when we met before, so I'm glad to hear that as well. So thinking about planned giving. So even if somebody has someone who can take their pets, a lot of my clients are charitably oriented and are definitely interested in including pet-oriented charities, often the Arizona Humane Society, as part of their plan. So tell us a little bit about the planned giving department, and anything that you can tell us about their gifts and how they might be used, and also anything you like to make sure that we are doing when we're including you in the plan.
Sure. So we are very fortunate to have many people who have included the Arizona Humane Society in their estate plans. We have more than 2,500 Legacy Circle members. And one of the projects most recently that we are very proud of is our new campus. And so we were actually able to fund that through a capital campaign where we raised $38 million. And then we funded the difference of $14 million with planned gifts that we had saved over a decade while the project was in process to fund that. So we are hoping that all of those donors are looking down on that and being very pleased with what we've done with their realized gift. But in addition to that project, Plan Gifts also fund about a third of our annual operating budget. And so we really do rely on those funds to ensure that we're able to achieve our mission to save the most vulnerable animals and enrich the lives of pets and people. And we are very focused on our community's sick, injured, and abused animals. And so we have a lot of critical care programs that we provide through our shelter, our trauma hospital, parvo unit, bottle baby ICU, and we offer programs that not many shelters in the Valley do offer. And so last year we took in 22,000 animals.
Wow.
And 80% of those animals came through our trauma hospital.
Gosh.
So we really, really are so appreciative of those who do include us in their plans because it really does make our work possible.
Wonderful, wonderful. When we spoke before, you all talked about us coming for a tour potentially.
Yes.
But if we've got clients who are including the Arizona Humane Society in their plan, what kind of programs do you have for them to go visit and see what you're up to and the growth that you've seen through the planned giving?
So we always welcome our donors and the public to come in and tour our facility because we want to show them the work that we're doing and we want them to see their donations in operations in our day-to-day work. And so we're always happy to, set time aside and bring people through and show them what we're doing there. In addition to that, we also do a couple of events each year for our Legacy Circle members so that we can do a deep dive into our program. So we have one coming up this month that's focused on our public clinics. We talk a lot about the work we do for the animals who come to us through the shelter, but we also have public programs that serve our community's owned pets as well. And so that's something that, we want to share about our affordable veterinary services that we offer that oftentimes helps to keep pets in the homes with the people who love them. So that's one example of a program we have coming up, and we do those twice a year.
Okay. And so if somebody's included you in their plan as a beneficiary,
yes.
Do they just let you know in order to be part of that Legacy Circle?
They do. Yeah,
Okay.
They can email us, contact us by phone, and just let us know. And we have a statement of testamentary provision, which is basically just them letting us know how they'd like to be recognized, if they'd like to be recognized as a member of our Legacy Circle. And they can share with us as much information as they feel comfortable about how they've included the Arizona Humane Society in their estate plan. And then at that point, we would also share with them our continuing care program and see if that's something that they're interested in. And I always say to people, because sometimes there are people who have a plan for their pets, they have identified a family member or friend who said that they will take them upon their passing. But I still encourage people to enroll because it's a nice plan B. We never know what's going to happen in life, but you know that the Arizona Humane Society is going to be there if in the case where, maybe that person isn't able to take your pet when the time comes.
Yeah. So on that note, since talking to you guys, I've had a client who wants to put the Humane Society in their estate planning documents to enroll in the continuing care program for their dog. Mm-hmm. And they asked me, what do we do if we enroll in this and then we have somebody else that will take care of our dog after we pass?
Yeah, they can just let us know.
Okay.
And, we, of course, want to honor their wishes, whatever they may be. Great. So we would certainly support, wherever they would be comfortable with their pet going.
But you're so right. It is a great plan B to have them in case that person changes their mind or what have you.
In our office, we're all about Plan B, making sure there's a backup plan to what we hope will happen is that everything will go smoothly, but sometimes they don't. So we have actually indicated that the trustee can find another home, and if there was a gift associated, so, the example of Kyle and $15,000 to Martha. If Martha can't take Kyle, then the trustee can find another home. So that might be an opportunity as well, that they could just call the trustee, if we didn't do anything more specific, could call the Humane Society with that gift
Absolutely.
as well. Okay, wonderful. That's great. Great to hear. What else would you like our listeners to know about the Arizona Humane Society or planned giving?
Well, I will say we always, we do sometimes have people who, say, well, I'm very interested in continuing care, but I've already got my will in place. I've already got my trust in place, and I'm not necessarily looking to, revise it at this time. And so we always do suggest, whether you have an IRA or an investment account or even a checking account or savings account, naming the Arizona Humane Society as a beneficiary on one of those accounts is an easy way for them to be able to do that once they've already seen their attorney and, kind of gotten their plans in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and making a charity the beneficiary of an IRA, the charity does not pay any taxes,
Exactly.
so a traditional IRA, that can be a really great way to benefit the charity, and then the beneficiaries take the non-taxable types of assets.
Yes.
So, absolutely. Anything else, Allison, that you'd like to talk about on this?
How did you find yourself in this role working with the Arizona Humane Society?
Well, I've always been passionate about animal welfare, and about 7 years ago, I decided to change careers and get into animal welfare because I had adopted about 5 animals by that point and realized I can't solve this by adopting all the animals.
I wish you could.
I know. So I thought, how can I make a bigger impact? And so I got into fundraising, and then I just realized how impactful planned gifts are. And so that really became my area of focus. And the Arizona Humane Society has a wonderful planned giving program, and they've had individuals there who have focused on that aspect of fundraising for a long time. And so we, in our roles now, are, the beneficiaries of their work that they did a decade ago. And so I just consider it a privilege to be in this position now, so that 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, we're still receiving those gifts and the generosity of the donors in our community.
Right. Really provides for that continuity of the mission being met.
Absolutely.
Because those gifts are coming through over the many years.
Yes.
From now, somebody 40 putting a gift in that might not show up for 30 years.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Well, last but not least, I'd love to see Teddy if he wants to make an appearance on the...
This is Teddy. Let's see. Teddy, look at the camera. Can you see?
We see him.
Okay. So he just turned a year old, and he is actually an Arizona Humane Society alum. We rescued him and 11 of his siblings from a home in Gilbert. They were actually confiscated by our emergency animal medical technicians. And it was 2 lab moms and 12 puppies, and they were in an exercise pen all together. And so we didn't know whose puppies went with which mom. And at the time, we thought they were all labs. So they just took 6 with one, 6 with the other, because the puppies were only about 2 or 3 weeks when they first came to us. And they spent a little bit of time in our maternity suites. And then when it was time to go into a foster home, I took Teddy and then one of his sisters, who was a little black lab puppy. And then Teddy never left. So his little sister Emma found a great home in Tempe, and he stayed with me. So yeah, he's a great dog.
Yeah. It's probably a hazard of your profession is more animals falling in love.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Teddy, for being so good during our podcast today. So, Vanessa, why don't you tell us a little bit about how a client or someone who would like to give to the Arizona Humane Society or find out more can contact you?
Sure, yeah. So if you're interested, you can email us at legacycircle@azhumane.org, or you can reach out by phone at 602-761-2981.
Wonderful. And if you're looking to do an estate plan, we'd be happy to help you, including planning for your pets. We're the Law Office of Libby Banks, and you can reach us at 602-375-6752. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for listening to the official podcast of the Law Office of Libby Banks. If you're in need of an estate plan, please reach out to our team by either calling 602-375-6752 or emailing info@libbybanks.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Just search the Law Office of Libby Banks. Free consultations apply to new and existing estate plans only. If an estate plan is not completed or was prepared by a third party, revisions will be given at an hourly rate. This has been a T-Door production. Music by Track Tribe.